All right, Nate, are you ready? We're gonna go crawl around in a couple dungeons.
Oh yeah.
Shout out and a thanks to Microsoft for hitting us up with a review code for Minecraft Dungeons. And if you like our content, like and subscribe to never miss a video. Nate, you and I went dungeon crawling in Minecraft Dungeons. This is the latest out of Xbox coming our way for the Minecraft series. What do you think of this one coming from Mojang?
Well, man, I actually like the spin that they took with this game. Growing up, I loved Gauntlet, I loved Baldur's Gate, I loved Diablo, I loved this whole action RPG genre. And, when I heard Minecraft was going to do it, I was pretty excited, and getting my hands onto it, they did a pretty good job, man. This game, it's not overly complicated, it's fair, there's not a ton of depth, but there's enough depth to kind of just make you want to play through the entire game, at least once.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was easy and quick to get into. Very accessible, I think, honestly. I'm impressed with the fact that they're able to take the Minecraft franchise and kind of manipulate it into other genres, bringing in this ARPG aspect to it, right? You and I were talking about this off camera. And it is a cool experience. It's not a very long experience, but again, it's also coming in at $25, so that's something to kind of keep in mind. But they do have plans to expand later on. But for the most part, the story is based around the Illager, the Illager is the one who's kind of taken over, and you're just off to help out your villagers from the Illager, which is kind of a weird spin, but either way, man, it's funny.
Yeah, so basically this Illager kind of stumbles upon this all-powerful orb, and once he kind of grabs a hold of this orb, he becomes consumed in power and wants to take over everything. So you, being one of the villagers, and then you're up to 3 other friends, locally or online, you have to kind of take back, the kingdom slowly. And I thought it was pretty good. There's about 8 to 9 different missions, maybe a little more. There's a couple secrets, but all the biomes that they used from the Minecraft were implemented very well.
It did feel like the Minecraft world was taken care of right here. It felt like it is predominant within the experience, but there is obviously a lot of differences between the two genres as well, right? Coming from the Minecraft, we're so used to just busting apart the world and then creating and crafting things. Where here, there's more of a linear story, more of a linear level design as well. It's not as open. You're kind of going from point A to point B with a couple little side turns here or there to go explore, but nothing compared to what we're used to in the world of Minecraft.
No, and I kind of appreciated the approach because they did have a couple things like you said. Usually it'll split off and one way will be a dead end, but there's usually loot at the end of it, or you find a fancy tavern or a cave. So it's with these kind of games, those things are needed, and it's fun. There's tons of loot while you're playing. Basically the whole game is you have 3 pieces of gear. You have your weapon, your melee weapon, your ranged weapon, and then your armor. And then you have up to 3 artifacts, they're called, which are basically like skills or abilities. So while being able to explore the map as you please or doing just the story, you're gaining all this loot. And all this loot has a power level. So you're kind of constantly increasing your power level as well as your base level. And each time you level up your base level, you gain enhancement points. And these enhancement points are then used to upgrade all your weapons and armor. So it's pretty cool. Like they have tons of different little passive abilities and skills all within these weapons and armors, and it's pretty cool, man.
I think it's an easy step for people to kind of get used to this genre. It's an introduction to the looter systems and such when it comes to these games, because some of them can get really complex. Like you and I play a lot of the Division 2, and there's a lot of stats to kind of, you could sit there for an hour or longer just looking at all your stats and stuff. Where here, you're able just to kind of get in, upgrade your stuff. You want to add a couple charms here or there to upgrade and kind of get those other enhancements, and then from there you just get back into the game. So you're not looking to really micromanage, you're just looking to enhance your stuff to get back out and go to the next dungeon. kind of thing,
Yeah,
right? So it's cool.
it's very simple. When you upgrade a weapon, you like I said with those enhancement cores, once you find another piece of gear that's better, which you do often find, you just then quickly break down the other gear, get all your points back and additional coins. And this game, you're kind of just collecting currency to use it on two things. There's basically two different merchants that you have, and one sells you weapons or armor, and the other one sells you artifacts.
I kind of was hoping for a bit more from your campsite, right? I wanted a bit more around there to kind of feel like I had more things to do and accomplish, but the game is so simplistic that I guess it kind of didn't really need it. But at the same time, there were a couple minor issues I had playing the game, Nate. You and I played online a lot, and that experience sometimes was hindered by a lot of lag from the servers. The servers are kind of a little rocky, to be honest, at the moment. It kicked me out once throughout my play session. And the other biggest problem I kind of don't like is how the TNT system works, because it's tied to your shooting your arrows, your bow and arrow, your crossbow, whatever weapon you may have. It's still tied and connected to the same thing. So if you're loaded up with the TNT and you want to shoot your arrow instead of the TNT, you don't really have a choice. It's TNT first with your arrow following second.
Yeah, the default button mapping, I don't know. I thought that was a little strange because, like you said, man, your melee weapon, yeah, you do use it often, but man, I don't know. There's a lot of cases where there's lots of ranged enemies, and you don't necessarily want to use it to kill 3 or 4 guys. You want to save it for that cluster of 8 or whatever, right? So that is a little bit frustrating. And the leg spikes, it is a little bit hindering. Offline mode, I had honestly no issues. So the online, maybe they just need to do a couple updates just from the little bit of experience, bad experiences we had.
Well, Nate, I think you and I have crawled around in the dungeons of Minecraft long enough. What do you score in this game?
Oh man, I really like the lighthearted story of this game. I like the loot system. It's simple. It's really good to, bring kids or newcomers into this genre. So all in all, I had a great time. 7.5 for me, man.
Nice. So you know what? I'm just a little bit above you. I think it was so accessible for everybody to jump into. It's that family game we're kind of looking for as well. We've had the Animal Crossing, but now we got a different take for something else, and it's going to keep that family bond growing. Whether you're doing couch co-op or online, it's there, and it's so easily to be able to be played. So I'm there with an 8.
All in all, this game is a complete package. A great way to just casually play an action role-playing game with your friends, or to teach newcomers of the genre on how to play these types of games. A fun, lighthearted story with all the quirks and fun Minecraft brings, except one thing: no mining.